Well, hey, all you slump monkeys out there. It is I, your king. There's my slump monkey logo right there. Today, I want to discuss with you reporting procedures, basically how to write a proper report. Some people say, well, Jeff, they just need the bare minimum of information. Why is report writing so important? Well, to answer that question, let me dive in real deep. Let me bring up a little personal anecdote that may resonate with you. When you're writing a love letter or a love poem, ooh, a love poem, to your girl, do you just say roses are red, violets are blue, let's get a pizza and go to the bedroom? I mean, no, of course not, man. You want to talk about how beautiful her eyes are and how precious the moments you spend with her are. You go into great detail on your attraction and your affection. Well, the same thing holds true with report writing. Why is report writing something that is so often overlooked by welding inspectors? Just the other day, I had an opportunity. One of my men sent me a report that was issued by, well, let's just say somebody who's loosely connected with my company. And when I got the report, I don't even know what to say about it. It was the most basic, no detail. I mean, he did technically tell me where he was. He did technically tell me what he looked at. But at the end of the day, it was just kind of like, what did this take you, like 30 seconds? I mean, there was just no detail. There was no je ne sais quoi to it. It was just very plain Jane, throw it down. This is all there is. He didn't tell me what he referenced it to. He didn't tell me what specification was it referenced to. He didn't tell me what detail it was referenced to. He didn't tell me. There was no information in this. So that got me thinking, maybe I ought to make a quick video on what report writing is and how to write a proper report. Number one, you always want to go from general to specific. So for an example, if I'm doing a welding inspection on the foundation level for W shape to HSS cross bracing, A to B, 1 to 2, my report is literally going to say it just like this: welding inspection, bracket, HSS cross bracing at W shaped column, end of bracket, comma, foundation level, comma, A to B, 1 to 2. What this does is it shows three things. Three things. It shows what you were looking at, where you were looking at, and what detail you were using when looking at it. In the main body of the report, I'm going to say fillet welds observed 5/16 inch at HSS column bracing to W-shaped columns were found to be in general compliance with the requirements of the project specifications, detail 5S 4.10, at the time of the inspection, after minor corrections were made, if in fact they had to make minor corrections, period. Inspection was based on table 8.1 of the American Welding Society's D1.1 Code for Structural Steel. That's it. It doesn't have to be much more detailed than that. As an inspector, in your report writing, you have a lot of power. You can really make a stink just in how you say things. I've read reports before where they were just like, welders, seem to be unqualified based on welds placed. Well, this throws up a huge red flag to the general contractor, to the erector, to the client, and to the structural engineer. And unless you can prove that they are not in fact qualified to make the welds that you've observed, then you've created a problem where none need to exist. Whereas you can say almost the exact same thing, and you can do it in a little bit of a better manner just by saying multiple instances of insufficient weld coverage or discontinuities observed at the locations noted. Instances of deficiency were marked for repair and discussed with the contractor at the time of the inspection. Remember, You do need to be detailed. You do need to be, but remember, you're writing your reports for the structural engineer. They do need to be somewhat complicated, I guess. I mean, that's kind of a mean way of saying it. Oh, no, Jeff, they need to be so simple that a baby could understand them. Honestly, most of you watching this right now don't even know what a W shape is. You have no idea what HSS even stands for. Some of you do. I'm not picking on those of you that don't. But at the end of the day, the structural engineer is going to know exactly what it means. The contractor, the erector is going to know exactly what it means. And what you're doing is you're writing it in such a manner that there is absolutely no room for a misunderstanding. There's absolutely no place for them to say, well, I didn't know what he was talking about. You're also going to, prior to leaving the project, you're going to walk the contractor over to each individual instance of deficiency. And if they can't repair it right there on the spot while you're waiting, you're going to show them what the deficiency is. You're going to note exactly why you failed the connection. The weld is too small. The weld is full of slag inclusions that are outside of the acceptable limits. The weld has undercut. The weld has overlapped outside of the acceptable limits based on whatever code you're using. If you're talking about bolts, you're going to want to say, again, what kind of bolt is it? Is it an A325? Is it an A490? Is it 3125? Is it a 307? Whatever. Is it an anchor bolt, an anchoring element? However you want to say it, but you're going to want to say A325 TC if it's a torsion control. If you're just doing A325 at a slip critical connection, that's an N. Bolt inspection, comma. Wherever it was, roof level, level 2, level 75, whatever. And then A to B, 1 to 2, A to Z, 27 to 460, whatever. You're just going to give your locations. And if they pass, you're going to want to reference what standard did you hold these to. A325 bolts observed to be snug tight as defined in RCSC section 8.1, inspected based on RCSC criteria 9.1. If you're doing a torsion control, it's going to be 8.1.2, I think, and 9.1.2. But you're going to want to reference RCSC as the governing, the code, the specification that what standard you were holding to. That's really important, because if you just say, well, I looked at welds and they were fine. Okay. What welds? I mean, you may have 1,000 connections in a 25 square foot area. What welds did you look at? Are you talking about the angle bracing? Are you talking about the perimeter angle? Are you talking about the moment connections? What welds are you talking about? You can't just say all welds. You need to say say W shape moment connections at columns. You need to say angle bracing at columns, or what have you, or at beams. You need to say joists, girders, whatever, I mean, perimeter angle. You need to list them out individually so that they know, number one, that you looked at them, number two, that you have any sense of what you were actually supposed to be looking at, and number three, what they can proceed with. Because if you fail perimeter angle, for an example, on a mezzanine deck, that tells them that they can't pour concrete. That immediately says, hey, if we pour concrete, we're gonna cover up these welded connections. If you fail a joist weld, it may mean, hey, we can't put decking on this at this time. We're gonna have to make these corrections prior and have them re-inspected prior to being able to deck this area. If you fail a arc spot weld, AWSD 1.3, that's going to tell them right there, hey, we cannot put roofing material, we cannot put insulation and the membrane on top of this decking until we've had these welds inspected. At the end of the day, I know it's super easy to say, well, I work for the client. I only answer to the client. But you have to keep in mind that while you do technically answer to the client, we're on the team of the contractor. We don't answer to them. And at the end of the day, we have to make sure that what we're giving to the client is the proper connection or work that was specified in the project documents. But you're not the enemy of the contractor. You're not the enemy of the erector. These guys are doing the work. They're the means and methods. They're going through this. Your quality assurance, if you're an inspector like me who works for an engineering firm, you're not quality control. You can't go up there and say, hey, you got to do it this way, because again, you're overstepping your scope of services. You're getting into the means and methods. I hope that this short video has found you well, and I hope that it's giving you a cause for pause, and maybe you're thinking, man, I need to probably brush up on the way I write my reports. And maybe you do. Maybe you're way better than me. I don't know. But one way or the other, I hope you liked the video. If you did, hit the subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up. If you think everything I said was absolutely ludicrous, hit me up in the comments down below. Until next time, see ya.